Hello, and welcome to another scene for the Living World of Darkness, Changeling the Dreaming 20th Anniversary Edition. Venue set in the Kingdom of Apples, New York City. Today's scene starts in Staten Island, a little library run by a Slua named Vanessa, where a young Slua has taken tutelage. This Slua is Nathaniel, shy, quiet, and seemingly more than he ever expected. A doorway to another world. And so we start with the camera on Nathaniel.
Nathaniel is... he's actually in the back. He's in the quadruple S, as I like to call it, the super secret Sula section. As he's looking through a couple of the books, not anything special in particular, fiddling with his chain. So he keeps mulling over the things he and Max talked about.
Feel free to start making entrances into the library.
Charles would have at least sent the message out to the other people who sorcerers at the very least to meet at Vanessa's bookshop, hopefully to find Nathaniel there, or at the very least be a meeting ground to discuss what their next step of the plan is if Nathaniel couldn't be found. So Charles meeting up with Alice and Lyra. Rhiannon. Rhiannon is the Fae name. There we go. And for the first time meeting Bishop, so I think that will be a good way. It's like he's waiting outside the bookstore for people to arrive. Library. Yes, you're right. Of course.
Why not take ownership of Vanessa's books?
The library. So yeah, Charles is waiting for people to arrive.
Amber will get off the Staten Island ferry and be complaining about the weather as she's arriving. she's got an umbrella.
I'm just gonna have you have like Misha with Amber.
That works.
If I see William there, then probably William too.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're all coming from the same place, so it makes sense that we would have just all kind of gotten together to go. Yes, Brooklyn is where the cool kids hang out. Okay.
My God.
And Amber's probably like trying to hold her little umbrella over William's giant figure and failing miserably.
Just imagine an umbrella crashing into his horns over and over again.
Yep, that's exactly what's happening. She's trying so hard.
There is an Inaba following Misha, and she is actually wearing her armor because she's not really sure what to expect here. So she's wearing tortoiseshell armor.
William is wearing his armor as well.
Ditto, and both chimerical treasures. Yes. Oh, that's William's armor? Sexy.
Yes.
Nathaniel, we need all these people in your brain space. This is going to be great. Anyway. Sorry.
But yeah, I'm sure we'd make our way to the library and head in. Well, knock on the door. Misha always knocks on the door, even though Vanessa said it was okay not to, as long as we're expected.
Let her let us in. It's cold out here.
Pleasure to see you all. I'm still waiting for the others to arrive. Make sure everyone's here.
Alice would be there as well, off in the corner. She has the flail behind her back, kind of leaning against it, and a wall. She's not worried about it breaking. And she's already in her Sailor Sun outfit. Just quiet.
William is carrying his helmet. Go on.
No, go ahead. It's fine.
William's helmet is on his hand, and he has Keldar following him.
Ephraim is there. His sword on his hip, and arms crossed, waiting.
just to finish off, you see actually Lyra's chimera before you see her. It's a bit bigger than she is. And she is currently kind of kneeled on the ground. Is she studying a certain tile?
Glad to see we have everyone here. And Charles looks around and he looks at towards I didn't catch the first name. I'm just going to say Bishop because that's the one I can pronounce at the moment. I don't
That's
think
fine.
I've had the pleasure.
Ephraim, Sir Ephraim of House Bowman. Pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you. Sir Kararis, keeper of the Diamond Word, Ap Daran, Knight of the County.
Oh, I've heard many tales of you.
Wonderful and terrible, I'm sure.
It adds to the mystique.
A pleasure. Well, thank you everyone for arriving here. Just to go over, I know at least he says, and it indicates the other sorcerer, the four sorcerers. I at least know these individuals are aware of the situation. Have the rest of you had an explanation of what is going on?
One was given, but I don't mind another clarification.
Anyone else?
Well, I certainly need an explanation. I thought we were we'd have a pool party, but the weather and all.
Ah, yes. And as he's staring out at the rain as it's coming down there. Yes, I do miss.
I forgot my bathing suit.
Oh no! How horrible!
The seal says.
Yes.
Oh goodness. Well, that's a shame. Well, sounds like the pool party is out of the question then. Well, for those that are unaware, or at least need a bit of an explanation, we are about to embark on a journey into the deep dreaming to the battlegrounds of Mara and Baku, the source of the nightmares that have been ongoing these past few months. We are aware of a method to bring the balance back, so that the. Yes, William. Would you like to interject?
Nothing.
Odd. I figured you'd jump for the opportunity. Anyway.
He's had enough jumping for the past week or so.
Legs must be tired then. Regardless. Myself, Councilwoman Misha, Councilwoman Amber, and Baroness Amari are the four individuals to be given the status of sorcerer for mastery in our particular crafts. We are going to we are in need. We are going to be standing on the battleground and giving gifts to Baku to strengthen him so that he may battle Mara on equal footing. Now, we are not entirely sure what we are going to find along our journey, and there are two paths we have determined. The first, which I believe to be the easiest path, is actually through the dreams of a changeling, one of our own. However, we need to get his permission to enter his dream and for him to bring us to Mara and Baku's battleground. If we fail this, there is another path. However, there is a cost. If we are unable to convince this individual that he is the best method and for the greater good of the county, and not just the county, the world, for dreamers at large, then we will go to a trod. And the price of the trod is one sad memory. But it will take us to where we need to go.
Who
Regardless
created that price?
Hmm?
Who created that price?
I believe that would be the Dreamings, or something. Something created that price, but that's the Trod's price.
It wasn't a price that anybody chose, William. At least any of us.
William nods.
So, for those, I know some of you will be strangers to Nathaniel. And he says, as he's looking at Bishop and at Lyra. The last thing we want is to frighten him. It's already a prospect that I think is disturbs him a little, allowing people into his dreams. And given what I know about him and what others know about him, it is going to be a very delicate conversation when it comes to convincing him. It's not something we can force.
I have an idea that might help.
He sort of opens his hands over, like, please, go ahead.
It might be helpful if we were all to be contracted to not do anything or look at as little as possible while in there. Something along those lines. That might be helpful here.
We could make that offer, if that will help him. But I'm not sure if that, but we will have to see what Nathaniel has to say. Regardless, I want everyone to understand that we are not trying to force Nathaniel into this. We do have another route. It's not a route that I myself necessarily want to take, and I'm not sure how many of you feel about that particular road. Regardless, both have its dangers that are unknown. That's why, at the very least, I am glad to see that we will be having other individuals to accompany us on this path. From my research with Mara and Baku's battleground, when it comes to giving the gifts, the sorcerers will have to stand at least one at a time on the battleground that they fight upon and give their gift. From what I understand, it is all a matter of timing. It was not accomplished the first time around. I believe they had to try at least 3 times before they managed to get the timing right to do what was needed to be done. So we will have to observe the battle and figure out the right time for everyone to go in and give their gifts. So, any other questions before we go speak with Nathaniel?
The door opens as you guys are having this meeting right outside of her library. And Vanessa appears at the lot of people standing outside.
Misha waves to her.
Ah.
Is
Good
there
evening.
a reason you're standing out in the rain?
I was giving a bit of a briefing outside the sanctity of your library to standard volume before we went in.
Also, it builds character.
Ah, yes, character. Well, as much as I am all for the build-up of character, it is a little strange seeing you all stand outside my door. Please come in before you catch a cold.
Much appreciated, Vanessa. Thank you.
She steps aside and leaves the door open for you to come in.
Is Nathaniel here, out of curiosity?
She gives a silent nod.
Would it be possible for you to bring him to us, or or us to bring us to him, depending on his comfort. There are some strangers to him, I know, in this group of individuals.
If you'll come in, I'll see if he's willing to meet with you.
Thank you, Vanessa.
The library, as you step in, is the smell is not the stereotypical musky, moldy stench of Slua bric-a-brac. It is the scent of old, cared-for books, ancient books. As you step in, at first the shelves are spaced out very normally. It's easy to get between them. These are books of very few secrets, things that you probably already know, generally need to be reminded of, or if you learn, isn't going to shatter your perception of things. But if you look towards the back, you'll notice that the very last few rows of shelves are packed so closely together that you would have to be able to perhaps be boneless or disjoint yourself entirely in order to get between the shelves to look at the books. And it is to that section that Vanessa sluas off to and disappears into the shadows. And she approaches Nathaniel. There's a group here to see you.
I could hear them. They have very loud footsteps.
They have very loud voices. They were standing outside the library. Do you want to go?
I am popular today.
If you don't want to meet with them, just say the word, and I'll speak as your mentor.
No, I'll talk to them.
Let me know if you need anything.
Right. He'll close the book, put it back very gently and carefully. Grab his chain, kind of wrap it around his fingers so he can keep fidgeting with it. And walk towards the front. And when he squeezes his head and his body through the shelves and sees the rather large group, he pauses. It's kind of, oh. He has like a oh moment on his face.
Hello, Nathaniel.
Hi, Charles. And we'll slua on further.
Do you want to sit or would you prefer to stand?
I don't know.
I know there's at least 2 strangers here. I'll let them introduce themselves or anyone else.
Good afternoon, Nathaniel. My name is Ephraim Bishop of House Bowman. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Hello. You already know my name.
He'll just give a smile and step back.
My lady, would you like to introduce yourself to Nathaniel?
Huh? Oh, Yes. Lyra will walk up. She'll do the curtsy, even though her outfit looks completely outrageous and looks completely like not very curtsy worthy, but she'll do it anyway.
But
Hello.
she looks amazing.
But he still looks amazing. Hello, I am Lyra of House Balmain.
You're terrifying.
Oh. She's actually gonna look at her clothes. Did I wear something bad again?
I don't think that's what he meant, Miss Lyra.
I'm sure you're fine, Lyra. Thank you for introducing yourself to him.
Okay. She steps back, a little insecure.
Just to make sure, Nathaniel, is there anyone else you don't know that is here?
No. No, all of you.
I want to make an apology to you, Nathaniel, about my behavior when we last spoke. I'm afraid I got a little too exuberant about what I had figured out, and I'm afraid I scared you. So I apologize for that. And I'm not sure if letting you run off was the right thing, but I understand you needed your space.
You looked like you saw a book with the answer that you looked for. You only cared for that one particular answer, and you didn't care about the rest of the book.
Yes, I must admit, I was rather excited to have discovered another answer. And you're right, perhaps I didn't consider you in that moment. But I'm here now with these others to consider you.
Who's the one that asked Max Harper to come speak to me?
Alice will take a step forward, tilt her head to the side. I asked Max as a friend to see if you were interested.
Why did you not come yourself? Why did you send someone to ask for you?
Unfortunately, I was at a... She looks for the word, pausing. Prior engagement. I put on a concert today, which required me to be at a rehearsal.
That's fair. Those things take time.
I made sure to bring everyone here that would be involved in this matter to you to discuss this. The power is ultimately yours, Nathaniel. You're the one who makes the decision of whether or not you will allow us to take this journey through you or not. We, as you and I both know, we've discovered a trod. We're perfectly prepared if you say no to take that option. But I wanted to bring the people involved to speak with you. And to hear your, to consider who we're dealing with.
All right.
So I guess the first question would be, what are your concerns, Nathaniel? Did you not hear me?
I did.
Oh, okay.
I'm making faces. That's Nathaniel.
It wasn't focusing on you because you were being silent.
That's all right. It's the same concern that I have. It's the same shiver down my spine that I have when someone reaches out their hand to give me a handshake. Only stronger. It's colder, chillier. It freezes my back.
It's really invasive. I think we all appreciate that. At least I do.
He's fidgeting with his chain again.
What can we do to make you more comfortable with this? I realize you don't even know some of us. Because letting someone in your head's a big deal.
Honestly, I don't even know how it would work.
Lyra, you said that you are capable of oromancy. Is that correct?
Yeah.
You can perform the magic required without us or him having to be touched. Is that correct?
She glances at William actually, and then nods. Yes.
We would not touch you physically, if that is one concern of yours. Would you like to explain further what would be involved with that, Lyra? What would happen when we enter his dream?
Huh? What? She was already looking at some of the books there.
Focus!
Could you please explain to Nathaniel what happens when we enter his dream?
Great, you're asking the person who out of character has no clue. I do things.
Maybe the ST can clarify for you so that you can say.
I mean, I don't even know if Lyra really realizes what she's doing. She's just doing something.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
Okay, so what happens with a neuromancy? Somebody goes to sleep, you pop in their head. Nathaniel has a special head. It is connected to the dreaming. Deep dreaming. And anyways, through a neuromancy, you would gently shove this party into Nathaniel's dream.
I can do that. Ooh.
It will be quite the effort considering the size of the party, but yes.
Okay. So Lyra tries to focus. Just glances sideways at the books again. So when you sleep, and then I can hide everybody inside your head, and from there on we can go further. It's something like that. It's more complicated, but it's also not more complicated.
Are you a puka today?
Am I? Can I do that?
Well, you'd be joining the Puka Club.
It is a club.
Very souls of magic would be connected to my own head. For some reason, connected to the deep dreaming battlefield of Mara and Baku. Slip inside of me, and from there on, use it. And then into the deep dreaming. I know, very much aware. I don't look like it, but I actually know a fair bit about magic.
I don't.
I'm glad you understand. Is there something you'd like from us in return for this, Nathaniel?
I had suggested that maybe we could make a contract to basically promise you that we wouldn't look at anything or, whatever it is that would make you more comfortable while we're, doing it. So that it would be as little.
What if we need to look to save Baku and to help Baku and Mara to bring, that balance?
Well, I just meant during the part while we're actually in his head. I'm pretty sure that's not where Baku and Mara are, not in his actual head.
So think about it like this. His head is a very high class alcohol store, right? And when you're a little kid, you go in with your parents and they tell you not to touch anything, because if you touch anything, you're probably going to break it. So we promised to be that little kid and not touch anything and just go right to the back where the deep dreaming is.
And the good stuff.
Yes.
I believe Nathaniel needs to be the one to guide us to that battleground, though.
Then we follow him through the alcohol store and not touch anything, and stay near him, stay right behind him the whole way. Unless he wants to be farther behind him, we can be as far, of course, behind you as you want.
If he can lead, he can also tell us what to look at and what not to look at.
This is true. I was just offering the contract because I thought it might ease his mind a little.
I'll turn to Vanessa. If she's still there.
She is. Hold on, I can pull that up for you. There you go.
All right. With
I didn't hear what you just said.
do you mind going with?
She'll give a quiet nod. Are you aware of what happens to us in the deep dreaming?
Yes.
She gives a nod. Would you like me to perform the cantrip?
And he's gonna turn back to the group again, and this time look at everybody straight, or at least as best he can. An oath is something that I would like. Both my own headspace and something else. You will not harm Mara or Baku except in self-defense.
I agree to that.
I agree.
I don't think offering our gifts involves harming them. I will agree to this as well.
Alice will nod her head. I can agree to that.
Vanessa stares at the other three.
What happens once we get to the deep dreaming?
You become more like yourself. That which is human even if there is little of it, starts to ebb away, and you begin to forget. You become more unto yourself. For those of us who are quieter, we are silence.
Ephraim will shoot a glance to Sir Karis, almost as if I don't know if I can keep that promise.
Well, this is going to be a contract, isn't it, Nathaniel?
Yes.
oh, well.
And with that, Charles smiles a little too wide.
Alice will look between Ephraim and Charles. Sir Kararis, maybe it would set his mind more at ease if you told him what the duration of that contract would be.
Well, it would probably be until the end, until we are no longer within Mara and Baku's battleground and back awake in this space.
Once we have exited the dreaming. That seems to make sense. Misha looks to William, who hasn't said anything yet.
William looks at Misha and is like, what?
You haven't said yes or no.
About what?
About what Nathaniel's wishes?
Hurting Mara and Baku?
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know if you can do that. Like, I won't hurt them. Why I should hurt them?
I didn't think you would, but we kind of need to hear the words.
No, okay.
Maybe I'm being a little obtuse. And maybe it's because I'm 2 weeks old, 3 weeks. You remember how jarring it was for me when I first came? We're going to magnify that if I'm understanding the conversation properly. In a place, I'm not trying to start a commotion. What I'm saying is, I don't want to lie to you.
Well, that all depends how willing you are to keep your word at this point. A promise is a promise. Something that's very deep within us.
And
Word is a word. An oath is an oath. Even when returned to the deepest parts of the dreaming, when returned to the facial, your oaths stand, your words stand, bound in magic.
Indeed it is. Thank you, Nathaniel.
And you're not going to forget that you've made this oath. If anything, you'll understand better what an oath means. Well, this contract, really.
I'm actually confused now. Are we making an oath or a contract or both?
Contract.
All right.
I just said the wrong word.
Contracts are little oaths.
But still an oath breaker if you break it.
No, you don't become a oath breaker when you break a contract.
You become
to
a
Charles,
contract
you do.
breaker.
Depending on who you ask.
Yeah.
To Charles, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, Misha just be like, you become a contract breaker.
Yeah, you become a contract breaker. If you're a troll, you fuck up. But yeah.
If you're Charles, it's no difference with Charles. But anyway, enough of that. Onto the scene.
I guess I'm hesitant about what I'll find about myself because I don't remember it.
Oh, you'll remember quite a bit of yourself when you get there, but you'll remember this contract, and you'll understand your promise and your oaths made. Little
But if
or
you're
big.
concerned, from what I understand about dreamwalking, Nathaniel's body will still be here if, you want to stay and guard his body.
The other thing to mention is that the further into the dreaming we go, the less you remember about what you do there. But while you're there, well, I think while you're there, you remember a whole lot more.
Everything becomes crystal clear when you're very far out from what I've heard.
From what
I don't remember
I
very
wanted
well.
William kept saying that I wanted milk, so that must be something very intrinsically embedded into my Fey nature.
All I know is that we came out with stuff.
With the goods.
Sir Ephraim, you said one of the reasons that you were considering this to assist us was you wanted to feel like you had earned the position within Manhattan.
He nods.
This is it, he says, extending a hand.
You'd be doing a great service to not just Manhattan and not just the county, but to the world at large.
Just think, that's exactly what Spider-Man would do.
He laughs.
Charles, is that?
He laughs.
Charles just like blinks and is confused.
The Arcadian she trying to earn place? That's new.
William, we're having a moment.
Doesn't say anything.
I mean, for a person that doesn't care too much for his prestation, you seem to care an awful lot about it. William.
I beg your pardon?
For a person that seems to advocate not caring about prestation, you seem to care a lot about it.
Really?
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, the question still stands. As I believe the wording was specifically, we would not harm Mara or Baku except in self-defense. Was that correct, Nathaniel?
And
Yes.
I'm sorry. Let me add, that if that's what's required to give the gifts, which is something that Amber brought up.
And you will not look anything related to me.
Yes.
Unless I say so.
We will keep our eyes only on you, if need be.
Do we have permission to be? What if we need to look elsewhere? Like we're getting attacked. We can't stare at Nathaniel the whole time.
That's why I say, unless I say so. Or a sign, so. Case of deep dreaming.
Charles.
We'll
go ahead.
We'll put our lives in your hands. I trust you explicitly.
That's a bad thing to do, but okay.
We're putting a lot of trust in you as much as you are putting trust in us, Nathaniel, with this matter. But there's one more that has not agreed or disagreed yet. And he looks at Lyra.
You seem to think that she can bring up the concentration to listen to this entire discussion. She's toying with her hair.
Lyra?
Yes?
In order to go into Nathaniel's head, he has some conditions. One being that we do not harm Mara and Baku except in self-defense, and that we do not look at anything within his head unless he gives us permission to do so. We will keep our focus on him solely. Do you agree to those terms?
Yeah.
Does this seem fair, Nathaniel, or does anyone else wish to add something to these agreements?
I believe we're okay.
Frame, do you agree with this? Still haven't given a definitive answer.
I said yes. I'm not gonna hurt. Why I should try to hurt them anyway?
No, I said afraid, not William.
Ah, sorry. I thought I
Oh,
misunderstood.
Ephraim actually didn't answer the question. People just kept talking.
Sorry.
All right.
Mm.
On the
And Vanessa.
condition
Mm.
that, according to this contract, that this is more a hunch, but the how do I want to phrase this? You becoming more like myself. Understand that this isn't the things that may or may not be said. Never mind, as he kind of stops. I'm overthinking it. I won't touch anything. I'll behave.
Sometimes it's best to be simple. And Vanessa, do you agree with this as well?
I would never harm my apprentice.
And to the rest, you agree as well?
She nods.
Very good. We've all agreed. Nathaniel, our guide, our Virgil through the Inferno and through Purgatorio. And the rest of us be Dante's wife as we guide ourselves the rest of the way through the deep dreaming.
I thought
Until we
Dante
find
was
her.
looking for his wife. Wouldn't that make us Dante?
I'm doing something, Amber. I'll explain it in a moment.
Oh,
Please
sorry.
give me a moment.
You're ruining my bunk.
Bunkus interruptus.
Bunkers interrupt.
We don't need to understand what you're doing for what you're doing. Got it.
I will explain it. I will explain it OCC afterwards.
Amber's just being a dick.
No.
This is your
How
game.
dare you? Anyway. And with us, we take our hands together, he says, and he pulls his hand out. Nathaniel, you don't have to touch. He says, as he holds his hand out for everyone to, put their hands together.
Yeah. She'll do it, but she's thinking all for one and one for all as she does it.
Unless anyone objects, I'll assume everyone puts their hand on, except for Nathaniel.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And Nathaniel, if you would just pass your hand on over as we state the terms of this contract. Our Virgil.
Actually, question: whose hand is on top? Because that's going to depend on something.
Well, Charles is on the bottom, unfortunately, but that's another story.
We can put Vanessa's on top since he was the last to agree to the terms.
Mm-hmm.
All right. In that case, he'll actually put his hand on the other hands.
Mm. Thank you, Nathaniel. So we are agreed as one group with our guide, who is Virgil, that we shall, in Nathaniel's dream, in Nathaniel's head, until we cross into the deep dreaming, we shall focus solely on him, save for when he gives us permission to look elsewhere. We shall not harm Mara or Baku, except in self-defense. And this contract shall last until we have exited the dreaming. So we all swear. And with that, I'll say that's my bunk.
All right, I'll give that a 3 because it's long.
Yep. I'm doing a thing, Amber.
This is
God.
puka. This is a puka. Gotta mess it up.
Oh crap. Okay, so 4 success contract.
All right. Don't fuck it up, guys. All right. So Vanessa will beckon you all to her kitchen area. She begins to root around through her cabinets, and she pulls out some various ingredients. And she'll explain to Nathaniel as she's going, because he's learning neuromancy from her. And this is passion flower. It works with valerian root and this chamomile. This will help not only in aiding sleep, but reducing anxiety. And
Okay.
she begins to crush the leaves together and puts it in a little tea strainer, makes a hot tea for him. And she'll make a large cup for him. And she will pull out other mismatched teacups and pour a little bit, just about a swallow's worth, for everyone else. And she will slowly begin to distribute these cups.
Ooh.
To aid in dreams. And she has her own cup. She takes her one sip and then turns the cup over. Then she looks to her right. Your turn.
Who's on the right? Sorry.
Doesn't matter. Literally, just go and.
I take a cup and I drink.
I think she wants you to flip it over too, so it's a ritual.
I flip it over.
And so the circle goes around.
Charles drinks and turns his cup over.
Yes. Same.
Assuming
Yes.
we all do it unless we say otherwise.
All right. And slowly clink, 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 clink. And she will look at Nathaniel, who has more and would have been at the other on her left side, the last one to finish his cup of tea.
And turn it over, put it down.
She'll retrieve from a pocket hidden deep in these tattered skirts of hers a piece of smoky quartz. Place this underneath a pillow. There is a cot just to the back here. And she'll lead him to where there's a cot.
All right. Guess I'll see you in a bit.
She nods. And she'll step away so he can make himself comfortable and sleep and turn to address the others. I will complete the ritual and bring you all within my student's mind.
Thank you.
And she
He's doing a very brave thing. This will define him forever.
If he wishes it to. And after about 15, 20 minutes, she'll slowly peek to see if he's asleep. And then gesture to the others. And she'll remove another piece of smoky quartz. And she'll hold it out in a palm. And then gesture for everyone to once again lay their hands on top of each other.
Hands go in.
Hands go in.
As bound by the contract, we move forward into the dream of Nathaniel. May you be bound to it in the strictest form of the word. And as she says this, there's a sort of sleepy feeling perhaps from the tea, perhaps from the cantrip taking place, but you feel yourself moving from where you stand into a dark space, that darkness before a dream. It is an all-encompassing dark for all but Nathaniel at this moment. Contracts being what they are in regards to the dreaming and the significance to those who bind them, until he says otherwise, everyone is blind within Nathaniel's head. Nathaniel, what you see are silver threads spinning out from you to everything. The threads that connect you to those that you are closest to within the group are many. For everything that is of importance to you, they are connected and bound to you. Those that you have just met share but a single fragile strand, and they lead to you. And going forward is another thread. And as you look ahead, you see the landscape ever shifting into the deep dreaming.
Here's a silly question. Can Nathaniel climb on the thread and walk on top of it?
The one leading to the dreaming?
Yeah.
Yes, they are his, and it is his dreamscape.
Sweet. The spider slew us on the spider thread. Yes.
Others, maybe perhaps you should let Nathaniel know you cannot see anything.
Well, I think the only thing we can see is him.
Until he says otherwise.
Sure,
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if you take off, like the rest of us are just standing there, like.
Oh, well, all right. I didn't quite understand that. No, that's right. Yeah, no, Nathaniel, guys can see Nathaniel.
Okay.
Is that all we can see?
Unless
Probably.
he reveals the threads to you, you cannot see them.
That's fine. I was just, so if all we can see is him, Misha will just kind of look around and be like, "Why is there nothing here but you?"
Because I don't want anything else to be seen. I should actually pull up my Famine.
Yeah. So we can finally see what you look like.
Where is it?
We did promise not to see anything but him. Unless he gives us permission to within his head.
There we go.
Mm-hmm.
But imagine like a weird gown or almost dress even of spider silk as well.
No, Misha would have just said, "Okay, well then lead on."
He has his arms stretched out, kind of balancing on the thread. Walks on.
As you walk from the space that is definitively your head space, you see before you, expanding outward, the vastness of the dreaming, the deep dreaming. As you step closer and closer, it continues to shift and morph in the ever-changing way of dreams. Sorry, I was reading the side thing. Do you continue to keep them blind?
No, as soon as the deep dreaming comes into view.
I believe the contract was his head, and the deep dreaming is not his head.
Okay. Good. And so,
Also, a quick question before we continue on. Are we just going straight into the deep dreaming, or do we go, like, near, far, then deep, or is it just one way?
deep plunge right into that icy madness.
Right into that mess.
Awesome.
Okay.
That means I get to bring back these
Oh,
photos.
so this isn't like an easy transition. This is just like bam, it's there. Like damn.
Nope.
Okay.
We're right.
We're going
to the
right in.
Yeah,
Right
I was
to
gonna
these
say
forms.
I'm probably gonna have to make a roll or two here to see if I go like bolting off for water or something.
There'll be opportunities.
oh, good.
The strand, Nathaniel, leads you on a path. It is not a well-worn path, and anybody who doesn't know that they are looking for something to follow would not see it. It is illuminated by a single silver thread for you, though.
Since Nathaniel can't speak at this point, he'll just continue walking, almost floating just above the ground, as Lua once did, following the silvery light of the spider thread.
Within the dreaming, you all feel that which is human, which binds you to the gray, slip away. It nestles deep within you, asleep, denying the world around it. Yes.
Don't you see, William? You were the mountain all along. The mountain was within you.
You watch as you look, if you look upon each other, you notice the she are ever more grand. Lyra, with her stunning beauty, makes you weep to look at her. Selkie, there's something wild about you here. Something that beckons to you always, the call to escape, to live a life of freedom. William, you tower over your charges. The feeling of loyalty making your heart heavy with duty. The Cluricon almost shimmers in and out of eyesight. A certain ferocity to her that can almost be ignored in the gray world, but here is undeniable. And the Slua, nearly effervescent, changing form from almost liquid to mist to solid, are so silent that when you stand near them, you almost feel as if you have gone deaf. And this is the group that moves forward into the madness of the deep dreaming.
And there's a puka monster too.
Aha.
Since you put it up there, I missed the description, sorry. But yes, the wildness within the puka, not only with invoking the feelings of distrust from others, but not trusting others. Everyone's a liar, after all. And the wild things know this.
I forgot that the appearance thing also kind of worked on Misha too, though, didn't it?
Oh, yes. She's...
Not to the she level.
No, she's appearance 5. And that beauty and potential heartbreak that the Selkie are known for. You are now the creatures of legends. That which is human about you, with the exception of Misha, because what is human about her is pretty freaking significant, considering it is a coat passed to this individual. But your human side is practically negligible in all other instances. But the path continues. And you find yourself along a mountain range. after about a day's travel. There's a gorge. In the distance, you see the pulsing light of your destination. And below you, a deep canyon. On the side you stand is rubble from a marble palace. There are tattered carpets, bright red, tapestries that have worn with age. There's the faint smell of blood for those of you with heightened senses. From galas long past. Here are the ruins of things that were once and are no more.
Single sapphire tear rolls down the pure marble that is Carraris' face as he looks upon this space, this place that was once his, this space. But something, a part of him realizing he can never go back. Even with the buried human part of himself buried down deep into his depths, he remembers and he knows this isn't his place anymore. But that doesn't keep him from looking for a long time at the place where once his keep rose. Where once he ruled over in these lands, how barren they've grown. But there's only one thing he can do before he leaves. Before he finally turns away in this barren landscape. To move on. He looks at this place. And it's just a whisper. But it is a whisper that resonates throughout every rock, every crevice, every crack of this space. Live.
There's a trembling in the stones. Vanessa quietly turns to Nathaniel and signs, "We need a bridge." Nathaniel, you see that your strand does in fact lead you across this canyon. Others cannot cross this thread. It wouldn't support them. Somebody must make a bridge. Somebody who perhaps knows the true name of this rubble.
God damn it, what? Bob and Chad. Sorry, I got distracted. He'll start to sign towards Carraris. Keeper of names. The path leads across the chasm. Can support myself and my mentor, but none of the others. A bridge needs to be said.
And he notices this language of hands, of gestures. He knows it so intrinsically well. It's fluid. And even he, though marble he is carved from, moves so fluidly, far too fluidly for marble to ever move. He says, "All right, stand back." And underneath the landscape, as it's rumbling and trembling, there is life starting to grow. Grass is sprouting. Trees are beginning to sprout and mound and grow from this place. He has commanded this place to live. For at the very least, if there's one thing he can leave behind, even if he can never go back here, he will let Arcadia be beautiful, even in his absence. This may have once been his land, and he will leave greatness in his wake. And as the trees begin to grow, he speaks a word. One single word. But that word resonates across the landscape. It shapes it. It shapes the world. And the trees that sprout begin to intertwine their branches, locking in with each other, creating a path of branches and all the way across, roots digging deep, branches strong and thick like oaken trunks with each of their own. And the trees sing songs of the wind blowing through their leaves.
A bridge begins to form across this chasm. And as you step foot onto this verdant path, it suddenly expands to this impossible distance. Step after step. The path doesn't seem to get any shorter. The distance stays the same and constant, and you feel tired. You feel the exhaustion begin to make your knees give out with every step as you carry forward on this endless bridge, one at a time. People begin to collapse. They must be carried. This journey takes days, months. You've been on this path for years. And finally, two remain, carrying the others. The troll, who must always carry his burdens, and the wild one, the fox, the liar, the master of summer. They need hope and energy, something to carry them forward. I'm going for thematics here, sorcerers. It's you, Amber.
I got you. I was trying to think about how I wanted to do that. So she probably has turned into some sort of large like echidna type creature. So that she can, hold on to people with like either tentacles or arms or anything. And what she'll do is she'll start pacing back and forth, like she's trying to like sniff out the perfect spot. Even though I don't think an echidna really has like a dog nose, she's still acting like a dog, at least in this scenario. And when she sort of finds the perfect spot, she'll start digging and digging and digging, and she'll sort of like start sniffing, sort of like looking for something that she thinks is buried here. And then when she doesn't find it, she's just gonna let out this. It starts as a growl, but she's not any real animal at the moment, so it's like a roar or like a howl. It sounds it's very inhuman and just willing something to grow from this hole.
From this hole, Your summons sprouts forth a tree, plump with fruit, ripe and red, unlike anything found on Earth. In the gray world, with rot and decay, it is born ripe. The fruit is sweet.
She's gonna hoard some for herself because she's very animalistic right now, but eventually when she's satisfied with the little palette she's made for herself and curls herself around it protectively, she'll just toss one at William and start maybe squeezing some juice onto the into the mouths of the people that she's carrying.
Cararis, keeper of the diamond word, dancer of the crimson field, marquise of the black tome, and beast of the sealed chamber, opens his eyes. It feels like ages, and yet no time at all, and the juice hits his crimson tongue, staining his diamond fangs, and he feels life. Rays of sunlight through his marbled veins. He feels life.
As others sup upon the juice from these fruits, they will also feel rejuvenated. Of course, consuming things within the deep dreamings does come with a price. And that bit of humanity nestled so quietly, sleeping within you, seems somewhat further away. What are your names in the gray world? What do they call you? What does it matter? Still, the purpose of this mission is clear, ingrained into you with a contract. And so you press forward. And finally, the path begins to wind off the bridge into a mountain range of seas.
Yes.
Your time is now.
Your turn to shine.
These still pools of water. The path begins to disappear. Misha, water is home. But when you look at it, there's something wrong. All life within it is dead.
She looks horrified. She's just kind of stopped in her steps and is staring at this water in dismay.
It needs you. All this death has taken its toll on these pools. They do not flow freely because nothing moves within them. Perhaps they are calling to you.
The water has always called to her. Well, at least since she chrysalis, but she doesn't really remember that very well at the moment. It feels more like always. And without a single word to anybody, and unless you make me roll this or something, she is pretty damn sneaky, so the next thing you guys would hear is a splash, as there is a Misha missing from the party. And there is a splash in the very still waters as she simply just dives in, starts exploring a little bit along the edges of the bottom, shifts into her seal form.
There. Oh, go ahead.
No, it's fine. Go ahead.
I was going to. There at the bottom, you see that even though the waters are clear, everything has sunk to the bottom with its passing.
So there's like dead fish and things down there?
Yes, but the dreaming is removed from time itself. These things have not decayed. They almost look as if they slumber in their death.
As it happens. Yeah, she's going to start sort of nosing, like pushing a little bit with her nose at, a fish that isn't actually swimming, but just sort of floating on the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
And sort of just to go around and nudge as many as she can before swimming super fast for the top and doing one of those flips in the air and coming back down.
Mm-hmm.
Hoping that she can give life to this dead place.
As she
splashes back in.
As her form breaks the surface and up into the sky, those who are standing where the path has disappeared can see Misha go impossibly high from one pool to the next, where she can continue doing what she was doing in the other. For each pool, for each ocean within these mountains, she leaps. And as she does, the water begins to stir. You see fish begin to school, shimmering in metallic rainbow colors just under this clear water below you. And as they swim, the water stirs and washes over the path, washing away the dust that hid the road from you. Once again, these waters are alive.
Once she's gotten to everything that she can get to, she will then just simply be swimming for joy. Because this is what an ocean should be. She will attempt to continue along the way that, wherever it is they're at, she'll eventually get back to them. They're probably waiting.
Once again, you are able to see the path and continue forward, continuing on this journey of lifetimes. Finally, the sun begins to set as you pass from this land of oceans, and you come across cliffs where primal violent lava flows, burning the ground below it, and rising up is a toxic cloud. As the smoke billows around you, fills your nostrils and your mouths, your lungs and your soul, you feel within you anger rising as it taints you. If it can get a hold of you, it taints you. And amongst you all, one who shimmers in that ready to escape, there but not there state. You see them being poisoned, Alice. Poisoned by the landscape.
At this point, Alice is just walking forward. Those who know Japanese can hear a long forgotten melody from her just coming forth. A story of a woman in a cave, a mirror that coaxed out the sun, And in an instant, she's drawing upon that which she knows purifies, releases. It's less words and almost just symbols rolling off of her. Her eyes closed as she walks closer to the flames, the lava, the gas. And with a breath, she blows forth almost like a second sun rising. A golden light, sending it forth, cascading outwards, turning poison to fresh air, and tainted lava to warm, comforting flames.
As she speaks this story, as the second sun rises, you feel that poisonous anger within you burn away. You are purified, cleansed of this toxin. The lava pours downward, cooling as it does. And before you, a dark landscape appears. The sky cracks as two figures clash into each other in the distance. One who is familiar to those who have reached within their nightmares to confront their deepest fears. The other familiar, well, to most of you at this point, but familiar to those who summoned the sweet dreams of Baku. They collide against each other, and Mara strikes. Baku is bleeding from a wound on its side. It struggles to stand. And again, the landscape shifts. Mara takes to the air. She picks up Baku in her ascent and sends him crashing down towards the ground below. And as he falls and tumbles, one stands. She bends down to the body of her fallen friend, slices him open, removes a bloody organ from his torso, and brings it to her lips. She screams into the night, sending forth nightmares. And after she has performed this dark task, she sits beside her friend and weeps.
So far away, that feeling, that side of him that understands why she weeps. Kararis doesn't know why she weeps, but something does. Still, at the same time, something he understands does understand. He knows why she weeps, and yet he doesn't. Why? Why does he know that? It doesn't matter. And so he denies to speak, but his words carry their weight. Our gifts must be given when they battle. We shall wait for Baku to rise.
Eventually, the landscape shifts back. Slowly, Baku staggers to his feet. as the ground rumbles below them.
Sorcerers, let us make our approach. And with that, Kararis makes his way, almost gliding down. Almost, it seems to those like he's dancing down towards their battlefield. Until he's right there at the edge, waiting for the rest.
Conversely, Alice doesn't look like she moved at all. One moment you're watching Kararis making his way down there, and the next, Tara-An is just standing right next to him.
Speaks of Silence just kind of pads her way down the almost like she's stalking something. She looks slightly more fox-like. She's probably more like Kitsune at this point because that feels most comfortable to her. But she's probably grown to sort of match the size of Baku and Mara because it feels better.
If we're talking about what feels natural, then probably walking down very, very quietly would fit Misha the best. Leaving a little puddle behind each footstep.
And the four of you stand at the edge of the battlefield. Below you, just a step away, are the silver sands that lay beneath the two preparing to fight. You watch as Mara stands, towering over everything, her wings casting a shadow over everything.
And so with that, Kararis steps across that threshold onto the battlefield.
You feel the sands shift beneath you, connecting to the magic within you, that which you have mastered, that which you have learned from the dreaming, that which it has taken from you. You get the feeling that the landscape is waiting for you.
And it's that feeling, that moment. It's almost a moment too long in which he feels this connection, this moment. He knows this is what he came here for, to give Baku a gift. But what was he supposed to give? It seems so far away now. What was he supposed to give? And it's when the first blows hit between Mara and Baku. He remembers. It's so buried down deep in there, something that he didn't learn as Kararis, but something he learned as through someone else. He's dying. He's going to die. But there is a way. There is a way. He knows now there is a way that he will live. And he can live forever. And in that moment when he realized it, by allowing himself to feel mortality, he remembered what it was he was going to give to Baku. And so he speaks with words full of power within each and every one of them. Baku, I give you hope.
The sands crawl up, obscuring Charles from view. And then they collapse and he's gone. Baku looks at the others Beneath his feet, ivy grows, but it is not the thorny vines of Cararis, but ivy that blooms, filling the air with the sweet scent of hope. Soft beneath Baku's feet.
Max, do you want to do your thing first, or would you like me to give the next gift if you're just hanging out over there?
Go! Just take
Okay.
your spotlight. I've done my thing.
No, I didn't know if you were going to do something or not. All right, so yeah. Speaks of silence and move forward, and try to get as close to Baku as she can. She'll probably have to grow a little bit more to do that. But she's gonna try to whisper in Baku's ear, if he has an ear.
He does.
Where
Two of
she's
them.
yes.
You look so bewildered.
Yeah, she's like wherever an ear should be. So she'll lean forward and like she's telling a secret, but she'll say, "Secrets are so easy. Mara was given a secret, but everyone has secrets. It's nothing special. I give you something so rare, I don't even think I really possess it. I give you the truth, which is that everything I say is true, especially the lies."
And as she gives Baku the truth, the sands and ivy wrap around, speaks of silence, tightening, then releasing, and she is gone. A wildness fills the air, the sound of animals long past within our minds, our shared collective fantasy as humans. Fantasy to us, reality to the Fae, a cacophony of wild. Baku grows and smiles as he looks to the others.
I thought we were going in the order we came down, but I guess not. So, Misha will lean down and pick up her jackrabbit, her Inaba, that has made this very long journey with her. And she will hold her, but facing out so that those moonstone eyes face the Baku. And she will take a step forward onto this field. Sand or whatever it is. And though much of the humanity is gone right now, some things remain. There are some memories that she can't forget, and she wouldn't forget. And she will look up and say, I share with you the memories of my best friend, who is no longer with us, except in this small form, as she holds Inaba up in the air.
And The sands, the wild sounds, the blooming ivy wraps around Misha, warm, snug. It fills her. It releases, and Misha vanishes. And the Baku drips with chimerical water as Anaba bounces off the battlefield. The oceans, ever changing yet constant, fluid yet eternal. These are present within the Baku. As he moves closer to his eternal opponent, his friend. But before he moves to defend himself, he looks at the final sorcerer standing there.
Alice at this point is glowing much like her namesake, her form. By this point, she has shed much of the illusions, the impurities, the nightmares, the things that have been holding her back. Without the pull of the gray world, all that remains is the warrior, the spirit, the person that she has only recently come to embrace. She smiles, and in the tradition of the goddess of the sun, she pulls a necklace over her head, holding it out symbolically outstretched. The flames from her fingernails licking at it. All I have, all that I am. To you, Baku, I give my dreams.
The Baku bows as the sands, the ivy, the wild, the sea engulfs Alice, embraces her, makes her its own, and releases, and Alice is gone. And the Baku shimmers. The Baku moves. The battle commences. Blow for blow, they meet. Equals for the first time in ages here in the dreaming. Mara swings, Baku ducks. Baku holds on to this towering figure, wrapping her in his trunk, holding her still. That fury, that rage, that need for change. Until finally, she stops struggling and collapses to the ground in surrender. She begins to weep. Crystalline tears come down her cheek, crashing to the ground below them. And from these tears, the sand begins to form. 4 figures. From this battlefield of dreams, Misha, Alice speaks of silence. Kararis stand again, silent, standing and asleep. More tears fall from Mara's face as the Baku wipes them away, sending forth dreams into the world. And there the two sit for a moment, finally allowed to comfort one another. The Baku reaches out to the four figures, gently caresses the cheek of each and every one, and says, "It's time to wake up." And they begin to stir. They have returned. There, for a moment, the four of them, giving something of themselves to the dreaming, to the Baku, becoming something greater, connected. Nathaniel, those threads that are connected to you, you notice that they have a series of threads connecting them as well, shimmering and opalescent instead of silver. They are all tied to each other and tied to Baku. And Mara turned to Nathaniel on her shoulder and whispers, "It's time for you to wake up, my son."
He'll rise.
And as he wakes up, the dream ends. The far dreaming and all of the beautiful chaos that it is pushes you out of this dream. All of you are once again in Vanessa's library. For some of you, it feels like a dream fading quickly from memory. Others who have a deeper connection to the dreaming, to the magic, it fades slower. The memories remain. But you're back.
Thank you, Nathaniel.
I'm sorry, I couldn't resist.
Alice is rubbing her temple. Did we do it?
We did.
All I know is I'm parched, and Amber will bring out her water bottle and start pouring glasses of water for everyone.
Ours will definitely take a glass of water.
God, dry mouth
Charles,
from being
Charles.
asleep for that long, even though I know we weren't necessarily asleep.
How long has it been? Even Charles is actually like looking at his pulls out his cell phone.
Yeah,
and
takes
and his fucking pager to see if he's missed any calls.
It's been roughly 8 hours. A full night's rest.
It almost felt like forever. And yet no time at all.
Nathaniel will slew out of the room.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to say when Misha pops back in, she's kind of subconsciously wiping away tears. Like, they're still coming. It's not like she's actually sobbing. It's just that there's still tears.
Alice is just staring at the wall clock.
Max comes in from around the corner.
Oh,
Eating a slice of cake. You guys wake up now. Shit, you guys were out.
Max?
You know, what's
Yes?
up?
Oh, never mind.
Talia, first time.
I don't know you, and I don't know why I know this, but I think you're gonna have good dreams tonight.
All right on, thanks.
Yeah.
how did you get into the store? Did we not lock it? He says he looks over at Vanessa.
Vanessa just shrugs. Who would dare steal from me?
He sort of gives like a fair enough kind of deal.
Ooh.
Max, the last thing I remember was we had just gotten done with the concert.
It was all right.
Yeah.
It must have been a great nap.
Did you bring bacon?
Oh no, but I got cake.
I think we could all use some cake.
Is it chocolate? Please say it's chocolate.
Oh, it's double chocolate. Chocolate icing.
You are my new favorite person.
You, Max, are a Donson.
Come, my people. And he opens up his arms, welcoming for any hugs, or even just to usher people towards the cake.
Yeah, it's gonna be an usher to the cake. Charles is not hugging him.
Yeah, no, Amber will go forward and give him a hug and be like, "It's good to meet you, Max. My name is Amber." She says, sort of catching herself, like, why did I say that?
Hi, Amber. I'm Melodicus Thunderhoof.
That's an incredible name. I gotta rethink my name.
But enough about me. You guys are very well rested. You guys were out, and there is some cake. Come on. This seems like something worth celebrating.
Indeed, it is. We've just saved the world.
Oh, no
No
shit.
biggie. No biggie. Just another Tuesday.
Well, it's Sunday now.
Oh, damn.
I just got 5 successes for Misha to sneak away.
Where are the Garu? Anyway.
And
Moment
with
for an
this,
overlay.
oh, I was going to say with this, with this makeshift celebration, I think this is a good place to end our scene. Thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching, and we'll see you next time.